Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Wendy's Cookie Crochet Tutorial. In this video I'm going to be making like a little handbag type of deal here. So I've got a zipper here. I don't know where I got the zipper from, probably an old zipper, but it still works great. And the zipper length, so the actual zipper part is, it looks like 8 inches long or thereabouts. And I'm going to be using the crochet hooks. This is a 1.65 millimeter. So the goal of the crochet hook is to fit into this little kind of fit through the fabric on the zipper right here, so you can crochet right into it and you don't have to like attach or sew a zipper. And then for the actual piece I'm going to be using my 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. So I've got 3 different kinds of yarn here, very different kinds of yarn. So this, I don't even know what this is. It doesn't have a sleeve, probably something that was given to me because I absolutely love being gifted yarn, and everybody knows that, so everybody loves giving me the yarn, which I absolutely love. So I've got that. I've got this old Lions brand yarn here, homespun, and I don't know where I got this either, honestly, but you know. So, and this is just, I love like creating new things out of older yarn, different colors and textures of yarn. And so then to add a little bit more flair to it, I've got this really kind of funky yarn here that has a sparkle to it. I absolutely love the sparkle. This is the name of this yarn. Don't know where you would get it from, but that's what it is. Basically, so I'm just combining 3 different kinds of yarn here to make something kind of new and unusual. And you could do this with like any yarn at all. So anyway, I'm using 3 different kinds of yarn, different weights, different types, just mixing it up into something that I think will look fun in the end. You may need a stitch marker, you're definitely going to need scissors, you may need a yarn needle, and again I have a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook and then a 1.65 millimeter crochet hook. So to start off, I'm going to be using 1 strand of yarn, and I'm going to work here inside this, inside the cloth here, and my goal again is to poke through, and this is to me the hardest part of it, is getting this started. So I'm going to be slip stitching around, and now I could just probably double crochet around this, and I might, maybe I'll do that. I haven't done, or single crochet around it. I have never really done it like that before, so I'm going to single crochet around this. I'm just going to again insert my hook, single crochet, and just remember that when you do this, do it loosely. And the reason I say to do it loosely is because we're going to, and eventually we're going to need to fit our 6.5 millimeter crochet hook in there. So you want to spread it out a little bit too. That way it's not too close together. So you're really just inserting your hook, and I'm keeping it fairly close to the edge there. Again, inserting the hook. Giving it lots of space here. And again, I'm just using 1. And I'm using 1 skein of my yarn here, or 1 strand of yarn here to begin with. So I'm doing that because it's a lot easier poking through and pulling through, working it in with 1 strand of yarn. So to start off, just 1 strand of yarn, pulling it through, keeping it really loose, like literally as loose as you can. And I'm not doing this as any scientific way. Like if you wanted to like measure it off or something like that, you could totally do that, but I'm just kind of eyeing it where I'm at. Again, to me, this is really the hardest part of the whole thing, but it makes it very sturdy, especially if you're carrying it around, you know, like a little bag or clutch that you're carrying around. And who doesn't love a little clutch to carry around, huh? You could get a small zipper, you could make like a coin purses. Gosh, there's just so much you could do here. Again, remember, keep it really loose because it can be hard to pull through here. And then getting your 6.5 millimeter hook in there is going to be very hard if you did this too tight. And I'm not even counting stitches here, but if you want to count your stitches to make sure you have the same number on each side, that's fantastic. I haven't been doing that. And the size, I'm going to make this as kind of a nice clutch size that will fit maybe your purse, I mean not your purse, oh my gosh, dude. Maybe your cell phone and like a compact lipstick, wallet, that type of thing in it. So nothing too large here. So again, you see how I'm single crocheting around it now, and this is a little tight, honestly, so I need to loosen up even more than I am, basically is what I'm trying to say here. Because you see how it's kind of curving one way, so that means I need to loosen up a bit more. There I go. So now we're at the end here, so I'm going to actually do 3 single crochets here. I'm going to kind of around like that. So there's 1, 2, maybe this other time, 3. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one right beside this one, just 1 single crochet right beside that one. Well, actually it's kind of like a single crochet decrease. Let me put it that way. So it's not exactly a single crochet. So I'm putting my hook in, I'm pulling up a loop, again making sure it's nice and loose. Then I'm going to go on the other side of this zipper here, and right on the edge there I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to insert my hook, and then I'm going to pull up a loop, and then I'm going to yarn over, and again make sure it's loose still. I'm going to pull through all 3, so that makes one nice uniform stitch there. And then I'm going to go and do 3 single crochets in this one stitch here. So 1, or in that same hole there, 2, and 3. And that's going to make our kind of edge there. And now I'm going to just do the same thing I did on the other side, very loosely, single crochet all the way down. so we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. Let's zip this up properly though. So we're going to do one more actually, and then we'll do 3 single crochets in this one. Here's 1, same loop, 2, one more is 3. Then we're going to go in right beside the edge here. We're going to pull up a loop. Then we're going to go in this other edge here, kind of straight across there. We're going to, right beside that edge, we're going to pull up another loop. You can kind of fold that over if you want. That's what I'm going to do here. And you're going to pull through all 3. Now you're going to go to this corner right here. You're going to do 3 single crochets. Oops, did not pick up all the yarn in that corner. So that would be 1. 2. Then let's see here, we got one more. That one is 3. And then let's put another single crochet right here. Alright, so now we have our single crochets worked all the way around our zipper here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hook out and I'm going to grab my larger hook. So I'm going to grab all my yarn here, one strand of each of these 3 different kinds of yarn. So this one I'm going to start off, leave a little tail, but this one I'm going to cut a little bit because it's kind of a hot mess right at the end. But I am going to leave a little tail because I'm going to have to work these in. So just start off grabbing all your yarn here, and you're going to insert your hook into that first single crochet, and it's going to be a little bit hard to insert your hook in there, okay? So I'm just going to warn you right now, because even though you did it very loosely, it's still going to be hard to do that. And now when you yarn over, you're going to yarn over with all 3. And again, this can be a little bit difficult, so yarn over. Okay. And I'm going to just do 1 round right now of single crochets. So you just do 1 round of single crochets all the way around. And you see how that kind of makes it look, I don't know, a little different. I like it though. Again, this is going to be hard to work into, so just so you know that. I mean, it's honestly, it's not terrible, but it's still not like easy. And I'm only putting big things in mine, so I'm not going to line it, but you can always line it if you want to. And it can be hard. Some people have yarn winders. I don't have a yarn winder. I would love to have a yarn winder, but I don't have one. Maybe I'll ask for that for Christmas. I don't know. I don't know where I'd put it either, though. That's a thing too, right? Like, where would I put it actually? But if you had a yarn winder, you could wind them all together first and then work from there. But being that I will never make this combination again, and I know it, that makes this a one-of-a-kind, super, super unique kind of gift. So I just want to say that. this can be hard to work into, so just bear with me here if you're having a hard time. Remember, you needed to crochet those single crochets extremely loose. That way it would be easier to work into, but it's still going to be difficult. And then these corners, if you didn't make them, you know, really loose, you're going to have a hard time working into them again. So just make sure that you are working into them. There we go. This one right here. And sometimes a stitch can hide, especially after you've, you know, if you're working with such big yarn when you were working with smaller before. So just remember that too, that sometimes a stitch can hide. And see, I add the sparkly yarn because here you can see just a little bit of sparkle, which I super love that. Alright, one more to go. I'm back to the first one that I made. So from here on out, I'm going to half double crochet around, one half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. And you may need to mark this. I'm going to, because sometimes you can get confused. So again, I'm just going through all the loops and half double crocheting. I'm marking that first stitch because now it can get, especially with 3 strands like this and it being so fuzzy, sometimes it can be really hard to see these stitches. So just make sure that you are paying attention, and it will want to fold one way or the other. Just remember that. And make sure you're not dropping any of these loops when you're doing this, because that can be easy to do also, is dropping loops. So make sure you're not dropping any of the loops. Again, I'm just doing one half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. And now I'm doing it pretty tight, just FYI. So before, when I was working into the zipper, I was doing it loosely, but now since I've got all 3 on here, I'm doing it pretty tight. And that's so if I do put some little things in the bag that it won't fall through. But again, I'm not going to put anything very small in there. It's not like a lip gloss or anything like that would fall through. And you will see after you do this for several rounds how it starts shaping up. So it'll start going around. So we are almost to one of our ends. And you could do this on either end that you want. So if you want, well actually, you know what, let's go to the, I'm going to do it on the other end because I want it on the zipper end, the opening end. So just, again, 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. There we go. And it's going to start shaping up. And curving around, and it's probably going to curve toward you, so just remember to push it out, especially after you get a couple of rows done. Oops. So when you get to about the middle of, let me make sure I'm not working in the same stitch I thought I was. We don't want to do that. So like one more stitch in. So when you get to about that middle stitch, so let me see, is it this one or the next one? I think it's this one. So I'm going to start chaining. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see, how long, I don't know exactly how long I want this. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is just going to be to kind of hang on to. So that definitely needs to be more than 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, let's see how this one looks. I don't know. I think maybe just a hair longer. So let's do 25. So we're going to chain 25. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Alright, so after we chain our 25, we're going to go back to this half double crochet, and we're just going to do a slip stitch back into that half double crochet. And then when you come back around, you're just going to work right over that, so you're not even going to notice it. Now I'm just going to keep on doing my half double crochets here, 1 in each stitch around. So you see how that gives me a little, did I skip a stitch? No, I don't think I did. Gives me a little something to hold on to there. So yeah, so just like a little wristlet's what this is going to be for me. So now I'm going to continue. So do 1 half double crochet in each stitch around until you get back to here. And when you get back to here, you're just going to work below that right there. So I will show you how to do that. So I'll meet you back there. Now I'm back to where I made my little clutch handle holder, whatever you want to call that. I don't know what you call that. So I'm going to work in the stitch right there, right by it. I'm going to skip, see how we did that slip stitch there? I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go back to this next stitch right here. So you slip stitch in that same stitch from earlier. So you're going to go just to that next stitch, pretend like the little clutch handle is not even there, and half double crochet in that stitch. So see how it's going to just do it like this right here. And now you're going to half double crochet all the way to your stitch marker. And then you just, after this, you're just going to keep on half double crocheting all the way around until you get to the length that you need. So I'm only going to make mine 5 or 6 inches because I really don't need it to be that long. And it's already a couple of inches now, so, or about 1.5 inches now. So I'm only going to make mine to 5 or 6 inches long. So you just keep going around and around and around. Make sure you mark the first stitch that you made each time so you don't get lost and forget where that stitch is at. And when I am at the length that I need, I will meet you back here, everyone. Alright, I've made mine as long as I want it now. So as you can see, whenever you're working in the kind of the round like this and you're not slip stitching, your marker kind of moves. So mine was over here and it kind of moves this way, that's fine because I started it off a little bit further to the side. So I'm going to find that middle stitch now. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just folding this in half, and looks like probably one more stitch. So actually that's not too bad now that I look at it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn. I'm going to take the stitch marker out. And I'm going to slip stitch down. So I'm going to start in the stitch that the stitch marker was in. I'm going to go into that stitch that I was just in. And I'm not going to chain one. If you want to chain one, you can, but I'm not going to. So again, I'm just going to slip stitch all the way down to connect the bottom together. So one slip stitch in each stitch all the way down. And if yours doesn't come out even, it's okay. You can always fudge it a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. Let me spread this out a little bit here. So I'm just slip stitching this bottom part together. And see how it's just fastening it all together there. This is going to be so pretty. It already is so pretty. I love these colors together. They're just absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? I mean, seriously, look at them. They're beautiful. Alright, and then one more. These two end ones, they're a little bit hard to work into because they are on the very end, but you want to make sure you get them. There we go. Alright, now you want to fasten this off. Leaving it a little long so I can work in my ends nicely. And here you have your little clutch. Wait, see if I can open it now. Ah, yes. So make sure you work in these ends really, really well. What happened there was it was getting caught. The zipper was in these little ends because they are not worked in yet. So I could have worked these in earlier, which would honestly probably would have been smarter, because I just don't enjoy working my ends in, but you know what? It's something we got to do. So let's turn this over here and work in these ends. Let me cut this one off so it's even. That way I'm not getting confused as to what I'm doing here. And then we'll work it back through this direction a little bit. So going over your stitches really is the best way to work in your ends, just FYI. Then let's put it back through down here so it doesn't come out at all. Alright, now we're going to cut this off, and we're going to work in our other end. And then go to this end right here, and we're going to work this one in. I made this one nice and long, so that's lovely. And this is a good, easy project for beginners to do. And it just takes a little bit of skill learning how to do or work with multiple yarns at one time. But really, it's great for beginners. So again, just work in this end right here. So I'm going to pull this through to the inside. There. And then I'm just going to put it inside out for a second. That way we can easily work this end in. So I'm just going to go in through here. And I'm going to go in and out. Same thing with this way, just going in and out of these stitches here. I may even like drop down some more. Make sure it's really secure. And a little bit more, and then we will be done. Okay, let's cut our yarn. And that is it, peoples. So I hope you liked making this with me. This is really, I love making little things like this, these little clutches. Honestly, I may sell this one, but I may not sell it. I might actually keep it for myself because blue is one of my very favorite colors, and I just am in love with this. So I hope you enjoyed making this with me, and subscribe to my channel, and happy hooking, everybody.